All right, great. So now we have our bug fix in our footer. It's looking good. If we look at it on localhost one more time, we can see that we are laid out very nicely. Everything is working as we would want it to. If we shrink the window, we see that the responsive is kicking in, which is good. And we'll go ahead, and what we want to do is merge it to master and get it out to production, get that release out so we can call the client up and let the client know that the issue has been resolved. Right now what the client is seeing is this, and they are not happy at all about that. So I'm going to move this down. Actually, this is our production view. I'm going to leave that open, and we can do a refresh again, and we can see that's exactly what's going on. And again, this is our local host, and we can see what's going on there. In the end of our fixing, we got over ambitious, and we went ahead and we pushed our branch to GitHub. But for consistency's sake, we're going to go ahead and just do it again. So we're going to do git status, just to check and make sure everything looks clean. It does. You can see that we're in our bug fix branch, our 102 bug fix branch. And so we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do another push. It's okay. It's going to ask for, this is more about being consistent. Password. Everything's up to date. It's saying that everything is up to date. So basically it had nothing to push. What it did is it went out and it looked at it, and it saw that everything was good. And so at this point we can see here's our 0, our 1, our 2 bug fix, and we're on our bug fix. We can see if we go into our index HTML, the changes that we made was down here. We added this row, and then we adjusted the columns to 4 and 8, and then we also made a change in our CSS as well. And there what we did is we went to the footer CSS, and I believe it was bottom URL. Let's see if we can find that right here. And what we did is we added this padding top. If we were to switch out in GitHub, we can see also, if we go to master, we can see in master by looking at our footer CSS that it obviously is not up to date yet, and the changes have not been applied. And we can also visually get a look at that in our GitHub pages if we chose to, and see that our footer is still wonky in here as well. So the idea is that we go ahead and we do a merge to master, and we get those changes pushed out to production. We make sure that all of our files are closed off in Dreamweaver, which they are. You can see we're on that branch in Dreamweaver. You can see that there as well. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to do a git merge. And what we're merging in, we can highlight the branch name actually. And when you highlight it and right click on it, it just copies it down in. And so we're going to go ahead and say, oh, we're trying to merge into our own branch. I'll leave that in the video just so you can see what happens. We actually have to go check out master, silly me. Now we can do our git merge. And let's go ahead, for the sake of being clean and consistent, let's just run a status on our master. We're good. All right, we just wanted to make sure that we were good there. And now we can go ahead and do our merge of the 100-2-bugfix branch to master. We're in master. We're bringing in the bugfix branch. Enter. Looks good. Brought in 1 change. You can see in the footer CSS. 29 changes in the index.html, which it calculates out to 16 insertions and 14 deletions. So Git tracks lines, not files necessarily, although it will give you the number of files that have been changed. We'll go ahead, we'll do a git status. That's looking great. Let's go out to localhost. Take a peek there. let's refresh, empty cache. When we empty cache, we get that classy error. Just refresh again and you'll see. And localhost is looking great. And just, to confirm, look in Dreamweaver, we're on the master branch. And of course, we're going to go into our readme file, open with Dreamweaver. We're going to come down here and we're going to add in some information. So we'll just steal this line, paste that in, 1-2. What we did, I'm going to copy and paste, fixed the footer by adjusting bootstrap column widths and wrapping them inside a bootstrap row. We'll go ahead, we'll save that. We'll close that. And again, this is called keeping a manifest. Actually, manifests are much more detailed. They have technical information in them. But this is a good starting point to just become familiar with a manifest. We would include things in there like resources that we leveraged and access information, things of that nature. So we can see now our readme file has been changed. So we'll go out to our commander. We're inside our master branch, and we'll run a git status. And we can see our readme file was changed. Also, take note that I closed the files in Dreamweaver. And we'll go ahead and we'll add that change. And we will do our normal, try to keep consistent so when we're searching our merged branch and master, getting ready to update in our production. This is when we really kind of want to move slowly. And the reason that we want to move slowly is because you don't want to make mistakes when you're getting ready, when you're dealing with your master branch or you're going into production or anything like that. So we've committed our change. We've got our changes. We're going to commit them. We're good, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to push our master branch up to GitHub. Username, password. Again, we can take care of that by doing globals, but I kind of like leaving it where I have to log in each time. And we can see everything has gone up. We had that's okay, the error was that. Counting, we can see it compresses it into basically a zip file and then it uploads it and then it extracts it on the server. Let's go out and take a look at our master real quick and see how that looks. We'll go back here. And if we look, we can see that our readme file is growing, and we can see that there's changes just by looking at the readme file. And if we actually come over to our GitHub Pages view, we should be able to refresh that and see that the footer is now fixed in this view. We know that it's fixed here in localhost, and so now our next objective is to get it out to production. So at this point, we'll go to Dreamweaver. And we can see we're in the master branch. That's the only branch that we really want to be pushing to production. I switched over to my file view by clicking there. And I'm going to just look at my remote, take a peek, my web server, my local. Just a little ritual that I have when I'm doing a release to production, because I really don't want to have to keep coming back and working on it. Great, so we'll go ahead and we'll do a synchronization, delete remote files, preview, and we can see that it wants to put the 3 files that we modified, and we'll go ahead and we'll click OK. At this point, it is pushed up. If we go out to production now, we should be able to, we're on our production server, our secure production, and our changes have taken place. Now we have a working header, a clean footer, Looks great, and we are ready to move on to the next step. So at this point, we'll go ahead and we'll close out, and that actually wraps up step 100 for the Inside Out project.